What's up, good people? Hope everyone's doing well.
What's going on, brother?
All is well, man. All's good with you?
Yes, sir.
What's up, good peoples?
How you doing? How y'all doing?
Doing well, doing well. How you?
I'm good, thank you.
John Maxwell team. I like that. I like that. What's going on? Everybody else, Jeff, Bryant, what's going on?
Yes, sir. Super blessed.
Is that the man himself?
Bruh. Everybody doing y'all better look. Make sure that you know exactly what y'all want to get into with this business. Make sure that you have a clearly defined understanding that you're ready to go through and do everything that it takes to get this done. Because I promise you.
Got some stories for us today, Coach?
Bro, I got some stories. You text me today. I was in the middle of some. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, this recorded. It's recorded.
That call, when you text me, I was on supposed to have been a 30-minute coaching call turned into 2 hours. Made me late for my appointment with Amber. Missed an appointment, got late for a 3:30 appointment on the other side of town. I'm wore out. How's everybody else doing up?
Yeah.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Good. So we're not gonna wait. We're gonna go ahead and get started. Who's that? Who got the stuff in the back? Chris.
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna give it to you in a second. I'm gonna do the official login. The welcome. Welcome to Bosc Q3 session number 2. This is the branding call. Looking forward to going over I got some really good information for you guys tonight. Hopefully you guys can take it. And I'm actually going to give you guys a little bit of what I'm going to talk about on the BMC call tomorrow, just because it goes together with what we're going to do tonight. And I'm going to emphasize some things I'm going to emphasize some things. Before we do that, I got to give it to Kristen. She needs to give you some information and updates on stuff. Chris, you got it.
Good evening, everyone. So some of you have already registered for the boot camp. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. But if you have not, another text is going to go out this evening. I need you to register. Everybody, if you're going to be in attendance and you're hearing my voice on this call, you need to register. If for whatever reason you do not register, you will not be able to attend. That's how important it is. So we're definitely going to make sure you do that. In addition to that, I want to make sure everybody on this call has access to the videos on demand, so that when you are outside of these calls and you want to come back to listen to recordings, you have access. So if you do not have access for any reason and you're looking to get those video on demand courses, go ahead in the chat right now, drop a line, and I will reach out to you throughout the night and make sure you have a text message with how to log into the video on demand courses so that you have access to those. But again, please, please, please register. So I'm going to send another text out. If you think you are going to be in attendance on September 28th and 29th for the boot camp, I need you to register. Okay? That's all I got.
Anybody got any questions for Chris? So let me say this, guys. When I started B.O.S.C., we started it was a 1-day boot camp. And the reason why I decided to add a boot camp on it and not make it just video sessions is because 2 things. When I started B.O.S.C., I was on the road what seemed like every day with E. And I learned so much, not just from being with him at different events and corporate gigs, but I learned so much just being on the road. I learned how to travel, how to go, and like I heard throughout this week, so far this week, some of my other clients have been saying to me, most of their gigs have been coming local and they've been coming with too many gaps. And I was like, why aren't you looking outside of your local area? Planes do fly to other cities. Trains do go to other cities. They even got this thing called Megabus that travels. They got Amtrak that like you can get around. And it's almost like, not that people are scared, but it's unfamiliar. And so the reason why I do the boot camp is learn how to travel and sacrifice. I've heard people say they've had to sacrifice financially, whether it's work, whatever the case may be, to get to the boot camp. And I'm saying that to say, like, if you want to grow this business and have any measure of success, be willing and ready to sacrifice financially, with your family. I know Cameron and I talk about it. You gotta be, I know Jay Ross early on made sacrifices, still makes sacrifices with his family, traveling to the different programs that we have going on. But it's only in sacrifice that you'll ever have an opportunity to see success. Now, I'm saying that because I so I'm gonna say with an ED on the end, I sacrificed and I still sacrifice. I don't like wake up every day and be like, I can't wait to get on the road. That's not what I do. Like, that's not my hookup. I don't expect to be on the road like I am in the next 10 years. Going down tomorrow to spend some time with Cameron in Memphis, Cam? That's what I'm going? Okay. In Memphis, spend some time with him. Then on Friday, I'm going to be in Miami, Saturday in Orlando, then coming back to Atlanta for a few days. Then I'm in San Diego on the 14th, gig in San Diego. And then after that, I'll be home for a little while. At the end of the month, I got to go to Virginia. I'm not like, but when you know how to travel, pack your bag, look for flights, maneuver in the airports, go in and out in one day. I'm meeting with Cam tomorrow for a few hours and I'm coming right back. I'll be back home for the 6 p.m. BMC call. And that in and of itself, that little bit of sacrifice that might seem like a little bit of sacrifice prepares you for the business. Now, and I'm gonna talk about this tomorrow on the BMC call, but I was on the phone with one of my guys today and he was saying, he asked me the question. It was crazy because he was like, Coach, man, like, you know, he used to, now he's full-time. And he was like, Coach, like, I'm having a challenge with that. Well, remember the first call we talked about occupational mindset, entrepreneurial mindset. He said, I'm having a challenge with the occupational mindset, that employee mindset, and it stagnates him because when you're at work, like I know the job he had, and a lot of us, I know when I was in corporate, you really it ain't a whole lot of real like work going on, right? But you still get a check. And in this line of work, and I know Jay Ross knows it, he's doing it. You literally, and I know some of us hear this, but when you in it, you only eat what you kill. Like there's no question, you only eat what you kill. And if you're not hunting every day, like it's crazy. Like remember back in the day, you see old movies about Africans or people that lived in villages, and the men would wake up every morning and they would go out and hunt. They might be gone half the morning or whatever, but they're bringing food back for that night, the next morning, and they have to go out every day. Farmers have to go out and till the ground whatever they do. I don't know what the language is for farmers, but they go out and do what they do every day. It's like when we have a job sometimes, you know, you can pick your pockets where you can take a break, but whether you break or you don't, you're still getting a check. Sometimes even if we don't go to work, depending on what you do, you can still get a check. And what that does is it creates a mindset of, somebody tell me the word I'm looking for, a mindset of, Jay Ross, where you at? Somebody. Yeah, you're no help right now, Jay Ross.
I don't know.
Cameron, what's the word? Come on. Free me. It can promote, not laziness. I don't want to say laziness.
Lackadaisical.
Lackadaisical mindset, right? Where, you know, you just you going out and you eating, but you really ain't doing no hunting. And if you want to be successful in this business, you have to hunt. So what happens is, what my man was saying is, he'll get some momentum going, and then what happens is that occupational mindset will kick in, and he'll stop hunting, and it affects his money. Whereas before, he just went to work and he still got a check. And so what I'm saying, what happens is, if and when you make the decision to walk away from your job, or even if you're on your job, you'll say in your mind, this really isn't working the way I thought it was going to work. But it's not that it's not working, it's that you're not working and you're not working it. And it's not bad. It's just that we have to reframe our thinking. Like you got to really, really, and that's why we do the boot camp, the 2-day boot camp. That's why, and I'm actually completely, after this class, completely restructuring B.O.S.C., completely restructuring to make it even that much more challenging for people to like really connect to what it is that we say we want to do. But if you make the decision to say, yo, I'm gonna do this part-time, and you can commit to the part-time, then you just need to block off the time after you get off your job, or for some of y'all while you're at your job, or in between your job. I ain't saying no names. I text somebody a little while ago, was like, yo, what time? It's like, I'm free all morning. So I, but if you say, look, I'm gonna do a part-time, then make sure you do it part-time. So now you're saying, I got a 9 to 5, but I'm a consultant, and between the hours of whatever your hours are, 9 a.m., 5 a.m., whatever your hours out, I have a contract with this company. They pay me X amount of dollars. I'm not happy with the money they pay me, but that's a contract that you negotiated. But when you're done at 5 o'clock with that contract, you got another contract with yourself incorporated. And now you have that contract, you got to put your time into there. If you got a family, you got to put time in with them. If you have your health, you got to make sure you take care of that. And this is why they say 90% of most businesses fail in the first 3 years. The first reason is because there's a lack of finances, right? That's like brick and mortar businesses or any business, you need finances once you get started. The second reason is most people aren't built for it. And that's just the truth. People aren't built for it. So people will they'll come to Boss, they'll go through the program, they'll tell me how great the information was. They might even get a few gigs, but I promise you, if we do percentages, J. Ross, just thinking back, and J. Ross been around for a while, or Kristen been around since day one. Think back to, if we say percentages, what is the percentage of people that actually take the information and break through? J. Ross is one of those people. He has taken the information, my man sent me a check. He didn't send me the check. I wish he sent me a picture of a check last week, and I was like, bravo, yes, boom. And but I told him, go get 3 more. But he has broken through. And Jay, do me a favor, just tell him, Kristen, before you answer this, tell him how the challenge to keep the consistency going, what that look, if you can, I don't know if you can talk, what that looks like.
Yeah, sorry, I had to move away. You said the challenge of keeping the consistency?
Keeping the consistency, because you stay booked. Like you stay looking, you stay hunting. What does that look like?
I think people think it's easy, man. It's going out on date night, Friday night with the wife, and before we go to bed, as soon as I get home, I'm hopping right back on the computer. And she said, "What you doing?" I said, "Hey, we just spent some money. I gotta eat. We gotta eat." Like I'm like every single day, like every morning, every night. I'm checking up. I'm sending emails. I had to hire a turtle to get me organized because I was submitting so much stuff I didn't even know what I was submitting for. But then also hitting you and asking, hey, when I have this conversation, is this how I'm supposed to have it? And then just taking the information and actually applying it. But it's every day. It's not, oh yeah, there's a check coming. Like I literally had to get out of that mindset.
Yeah. And now here's the crazy thing. Jay has a consulting gig where he gets a guarantee, I think it's guaranteed, check. I think it's guaranteed. I don't know. He might not get paid if he don't work for it.
Nah, I don't get paid if I don't work for it.
Yeah. So he has a full-time consulting gig also, along with building his business. He's combined it. So I'm saying all that to say, guys, and Lady Amber, you got to really want this, because if it looks like it's not working for you, what'll happen is, we get the calls all the time. Well, it's really not working the way I want it to work. I'm going to have to leave out of the BMC. And the BMC is where you get, and let me tell y'all something. I'm a coach for Game Changers, right? Another program costs 3-4 times more than what I charge. And I'm a coach, and there's no difference. Like people go through there, they pay thousands of dollars, don't necessarily do the work, and see that it doesn't work and fall off. Like it's not the programs. There's other programs out there that have phenomenal information. It's not the programs. It's the person. It's the people. And so I don't want that for us. Like I just, when I see people come through and I'm looking here, I know Cameron is phenomenally talented. Fred, I've heard you. You got talent. Brian, I'm not gonna lie and say I heard you because I haven't heard you yet. And Jeff, I'll be in Canada with you at the end of this month. That's gonna be in Canada, end of this month. And we all know with J. Ross, but I know you guys can do it, and I know that because I'm doing it. And I'm not, like I always say, I ain't sweet. There plenty of people can run circles around me speaking, but I don't stop. And I'm not even going in my one, like the way J. Ross is doing it. I'm not even doing it like that anymore because I'm running a full-fledged couple of businesses. I don't even want to go at it like that. I don't know that I had to have the energy. I have a different model, but I love when he wins, I love to know about it. I love to hear it. So Chris, and I'm gonna get started. Since we started this in 2017, what would you say would be the percentage of people that actually break through and start really generating? Because I think it's so many little, it's such a small percentage that I can call out the people's names.
Ooh, about 5%?
Yeah, if that. It might not even be that.
That might be generous.
Yeah, I can call out names that I know. Now, here's the thing. So I was telling my people today, make no mistake, there are people that you see on Instagram and they look like they're doing it. I promise you, it looks like they're doing it. And they're not doing anything I don't know if y'all saw the video I did. I might not even drop it yet. Nothing matters but results. You can have the sweetest looking video. You can be dropping content on social media. But if you're not generating revenue, so I told somebody yesterday that, that wants to work with us, and they were like, yo, do it like this, do it like that. And they got a full-time gig. And I told them straight up, I'm like, yo, you make you earn 6 figures a year at your job. I created multiple 6 figures from scratch. Like you ain't in these trenches. And so for you, I don't go and tell, you're a trainer, right, Bryant? I'm not going to go, and Bryant is a master at what he does. I'm not going to go and tell Bryant how to train because that's what he does. And so be careful who you get your information from and who says what to you. And they might look like they sweet. And I'm not telling you from what I look at. I'm telling you about the phone calls that I'm on with these people, and they're not getting it. And what we do is train people to get it. Jay Ross is getting it. Jasmine is getting it. Like, we got people that are getting it. And be careful, because there'll be people that'll give you phenomenal information, but it's from what they heard or what they read. What we're giving you here, I'm giving you stuff from the trenches. I'm on the road. I'm booking gigs. I'm it works. I know it works because I'm living it. And not just living it, generating revenue. I'm getting results. And I want y'all to get results. All right. Enough of my soapbox. So any questions about anything before we get to go brand in the business model? Okay. All right. Let me get this thing popping. All right, y'all can see my screen? Oh, yeah. Tell me, what is the first thing you think about when you see this picture? I don't even know why I put this one first. What is the first thing? I just read today he was going off of my man from Google. What's the first thing you think about? What are the first thoughts that come to your mind?
My first thought is I feel sorry for y'all. This is not my president.
What else?
Businessman.
Anybody?
Businessman.
Exactly. Yeah, businessman. What else?
The most insecure rich man ever.
The most insecure rich man ever. What else?
Somebody start praying.
We need prayer. All right. How about this? When I show you his picture, what's that first thought that comes to your mind?
A hustler.
Hustler.
Right.
Sorry.
Go ahead. We can shout it out. It's not a lot of us on here. Just shout it out. Grinding. What else?
Funny.
He's always working.
Working. Funny. Yep. Okay. That's Mother Teresa. First thought.
Compassion.
Yep.
Selfless.
Benevolence.
I heard selfless. I heard discipline. What'd you say, Cam?
Originals.
Original. An original OG. All right. Yep. Original OG. That's like, all right. Anyway, be careful. I know. Just be careful. First thought.
My heart broke.
Heartbroken.
Talented.
Talent.
Talent. Yep. You knew he was guilty from the get-go, Cam. Stop playing. Anybody else?
Generational.
Generational curse or
No, I'm just saying, like, he's a figure of a generation. Like, people look up to R. Kelly from a certain generation.
gotcha.
Regardless of what he's doing now. Like, we ain't
Yeah,
talking
no, I know what you're saying. Yeah, no, I know what you're saying. All right, anybody else? All right. How about her?
Boss.
Influence.
Boss, influence. What else? Mogul.
Yep.
All right. My man. Y'all be careful. That's my dude.
Mamba.
Mamba. What does that mean, though?
Cold-blooded killer.
Like he won it. He won it.
Cold-blooded killer. Yeah.
Killer.
One of the best that ever did it. Yeah. And look, so here's the crazy thing. Everything that y'all said about him had nothing to do with basketball. It was a mindset.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Okay. Now, what about my man, Steve Jobs?
Innovator.
Innovator.
Innovator. Anything else?
Game changer.
Game changer, literally.
Cold-blooded.
Yeah, I agree with that. Cold-blooded.
Mm-hmm.
Now, put your picture here. What would you say about yourself, or what would people say about you if I had your picture up here? What would be that word? What would be those words? And write these down, and I just want to hear give me one or two words that you would like for people to say about you. You know, when Martin Luther King, he did that, he did his own eulogy. And in the eulogy, he said, don't tell him that I was, I forgot what he said. Don't tell him that I was this. Tell him I was a drum major for peace. Tell him I was a boom, boom, boom. Don't tell him about all my degrees, my Nobel Peace Prize. Tell him boom, boom, boom. What would you like, if your picture was up here, what would be one or two words that you would like for them to say? I'm gonna go everybody, give everybody an opportunity. Brian, I'm gonna start with you.
relentless.
And what else? Anything else? I'm sorry.
Always positive.
Always positive. Frederick.
Legacy. Leader. Killer.
Yeah. Jeff. We can't hear you if you're saying something, Jeff. All right, we're gonna go to Cameron.
I'm gonna say empathetic, leader, community leader. I'm gonna say that.
Yeah. Amber.
Creative and authentic.
Creative and authentic. Jeff, you back yet? Nope. Okay. Chris, you here? I might as well throw you in here.
Yes, I'm here.
What would you say?
Yeah. Repeat the question.
I knew you wasn't paying attention to me.
I'm
Never mind.
multitasking over here.
Go ahead. I thought you were paying attention. No big deal. Go ahead, do your thing. So now look. All right, I'm gonna come up off here for a second. So listen, I showed you those pictures, and those people have become masters at what they've done, right? And they've created a brand. And because they've created a brand, when you see their picture, there's thoughts that come up. And if I showed you a Nike logo, there would be a brand. Like you can't get away from the fact that when you see certain things, thoughts and characteristics and distinctions pop up in your head about people's brands, regardless of how bad they are, like a Trump or an R. Kelly. They still created a brand, and they did this over a period of time. And the reason why we do business with them, we spend money with them, is because we envy them or watch them or emulate them, whoever it is because over a period of time, they have taken the time to become masters at their craft. They have taken the time to build the brand. I love Kevin Hart. And here's the crazy thing. Really, out of all the pictures that I showed you, you didn't necessarily say anything about what they did. So even like R. Kelly is only known for music, but those weren't the words that came up. Even Oprah, what she does, the word Cole, what he does, the words didn't come up. And so when you think about it, you want to make sure that when a picture of you hit social media and you post something, you want to be able to say like, yo, I'm building a brand. I'm mastering my craft so that when I do post something out here, people will begin to recognize me as boom. People will begin to see me as boom. And so I want you guys to start thinking like right now, what is your brand going to say to the marketplace? And that, like, we're gonna go over brand pyramid, how to build it, how to create it, how to move with it. That is probably the single most important. That should have been the first class. Like maybe not should have been. It is the second class. First class was your vision and changing your mindset. As you change your mindset, you have to start, everything that you do is about brand building and creating influence, right? So let me ask you a question. Let's just say, let's take Code real quick. Actually, everybody know Jerome Bettis, right? So I used to cut his son's hair. So Bettis would come in the shop, we would talk all the time, and he would give me some insight, give me some, phenomenal insight. This is when I was just getting started in the game. I was still working with CJ, but he was giving me stuff from that other side. And Bettis he was telling me, I asked him about his role, like being an announcer. And he was like, man, I don't like being an announcer. It's not really what I want to do. He said, I only do it. His words exactly. He said, I only do it to keep my brand going and to keep me relevant. Because what happens a lot of times with announcers, with sports figures, when you're not playing the game anymore and you're not in front of the camera anymore, your brand takes a hit. And so doing the gig on ESPN and him staying in front of the camera allowed him to keep the brand alive, which opened up other opportunities in other areas, right? And then what he told me was right before he got the jacket, he was crafting his speech and he was walking me through what he was going to do. He said he was going to bring in his Notre Dame football coach, his high school football coach, certain family members, and had his son on the front row. And he crafted his speech such that corporate sponsors or corporations would hear this speech, hear how articulate he was, hear about this story, and want to bring him in to speak. He told me that when he got nominated for the jacket and he knew he was going to get it, they came and they got him, the jacket committee is what he called them. And they took all of them and they had a sit down like financial advisors and told them your income is about to drastically change. Like when you get that jacket, stuff changes. He told me when he got the jacket, he went from $50,000, $60,000 a speech to $85,000, $90,000 a speech instantly. And so he said, gave me one specific instance where he went to Dell Computers and spoke, and they asked him to wear the jacket. His agent said, "Oh, well, if he was charging him $80,000, and they said, can he wear the jacket?" And he said, "Oh yeah, it's gonna be $100,000 just to put on the jacket, $100,000, and not just because of his brand, but now he had another brand on top of his brand, that jacket, that Hall of Fame jacket." But watch this. He said there are players, and I think at the time he said Terrell Owens. He said Terrell Owens is a phenomenal speaker. He could easily get out there on the circuit and build back up and get, he said the problem with Terrell is he killed his brand. And now in order for him to get back out there and really generate the revenue that he could generate, he's got to change his mindset and rebuild his brand. Remember during the Super Bowl, Warren Sapp had got jammed up in the hotel. I think it was out here in Atlanta or wherever it was the Super Bowl was. He said something that made all the sense in the world. He said not Marvin Sapp, what's my man name?
Warren Sapp.
Warren Sapp. Marvin Sapp.
Yeah.
Y'all just
Warren.
y'all was like, yeah. Warren Sapp. He said if Warren Sapp was still playing, it would be easier for him to fix it. But because he's not out in the public's eye, and his brand doesn't get the attention that it needs. So Bettis would tell me all of these things that he would do to keep his brand alive. All of the radio shows, all of the TV, all like just to keep the brand alive. If you think about Kevin Hart, like somebody said, grinder, hustler, he gets it in. All of the work that he does is his Instagram is designed to keep his brand alive. Puffy, the Instagram is designed to keep his brand alive. E posts videos every day, 2-3 times a day podcast, YouTube, all that. It's designed to keep the brand alive, to keep everything going. He just shot a joint where he was with the Dallas Cowboys. He's gonna be with the Yankees, I think, in next month, right? You're gonna see footage of that. That's to keep the brand alive. When I put stuff out, when I'm going to this gig, going to that gig, footage here, footage there, we got to keep the brand alive. Because as your brand alive, it endears you to the marketplace, primarily your specific market. And one of the things that we're not doing is branding our personal brand more consistently. I'm gonna say it like that. Now watch this. You don't need to necessarily create your brand in the larger market. But when you say, remember we did those 6 questions, who am I, what do I do, who do I do it for? When you say, Cameron, who do you do it for? Who's your ideal client?
Nonprofits, small businesses, colleges, churches.
So all Cameron has to do is say, look, in my ideal market, I need to build my brand. Because it's a huge marketplace. And you don't necessarily need to be an influencer in the larger scheme of the marketplace. But in your niche, who's your ideal market, Fred?
Athletes.
Give me some more, like student athletes, football players.
Yeah.
Like give me.
Yes, football players, specifically football players, student athletes.
College, D1, pro.
Yeah, college, high school, and eventually pro.
Good. And so based on what you do and that marketplace, whenever anybody thinks about student athlete development, one of the top names that they should see is Frederick Goins. How do you say your last name?
Guyans.
Frederick Guyans. They should see that. And so I think one of the biggest mistakes and the challenges is stop trying to focus on being an influencer or trying to serve the whole marketplace. That's why the Q6 is designed to help you stay focused in your niche. Who's your primary audience, B? Bryant?
So mine is the same as youth athletes. Excuse me.
I'm sorry, I said it wrong. I shouldn't have said your primary audience. I don't want to confuse nobody. Your primary client, your ideal client.
So we're talking to youth athletes, youth leadership, and students, but also principals and people that are in charge of youth as well.
Yeah, so your client is the principal and people that are in charge. The youth can't pay you jack. They ain't got So let's say your client. In that space, whenever they think about youth development or what, they should be thinking about you. Jeff, same thing, right? In that space, they should be thinking about you. What I'm saying is 2 things. Brand your personal brand in your niche market. And I'm talking about go hard. So now what you're saying is you're not just on IG taking videos of yourself, just dropping it like we've been doing. What you're saying is I'm intentional. I know who my ideal client is, and I'm dropping content for my ideal client, and I am going to do it so consistently. I'm going to serve them and solve for them so often that in this space, like you should have video footage, you should have, and I'm not saying to do a podcast, but you should be flooding your niche marketplace with everything. Your t-shirt should be about student athletes, Fred. Your Cameron, everything you do should be serving your ideal client. And if you think about it, that's what Kevin Hart does. On his Instagram, he promotes his movies. He's a comedian, so he makes them laugh. And he floods his niche market space, entertainment, with funny stuff, behind the scenes stuff at his movies. He's about fitness too. He works out every day. So from his personal brand, is a part of his lifestyle is fitness. So he started doing that on his social media, and it's a part of his personal brand. So Nike said, yo, because you are such an influencer, we want to go ahead and cut you a deal. I ain't never seen such foolishness. A comedian with a Nike contract. But what he's saying is what we're used to seeing, we don't need to see. You can create new trends if and when you become a master in your space. Let me tell you how important this is. It's so important because in 2019, it's so noisy out here. is super noisy. And you have to figure out what's going to separate you. Because Fred, you ain't the only one that do student athletes. I'm talking about this cat's all over. And now when you're saying that, you're in the area with E. So you got to niche it down so specifically to say, this is what I do in student development. And because he dropping so much content and his influencer badge is so high, you got to make sure that you boom, 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 boom. This is why most people are not successful, because we're not niching down into our specific craft and we are not becoming an influencer. Our brand is not synonymous. Our personal brand is not synonymous with what we do. And that can become very challenging. And that's what causes people not to necessarily sign you for gigs, give you your price. Because what happens is, if you're not a master at what you do, you'll negotiate your price. Mm-hmm. I got an email today. I had quoted these people a price, and they came back and they trying to get market research to see if my price is comparable. This is some new stuff. Another customer had just did it to me last week, a college. So I created some proposals that said the market price, sent it to them. They were like, okay, great. I don't know why they did that. But this company said the same thing. We want to check the marketplace and see if the price that you're quoting us is within the range of the market. So I'm like, okay, but I'm already in my head saying, I'm not budging, because this right here, and it's Welcome to the Jungle, the way we do Welcome to the Jungle. I'm a master at this. This is what I do. I am not budging on this price. And so if you don't have it, then we just can't do the deal. And that, like, I'm at that point now where I'm like, I'm not going in there for 2 days for under this price. I'm not doing that. Now, I'm talking about not even, because I can just hear them coming back saying, well, the market says it's $3,500 for 2 days. I'm not doing that. No, I'm not doing that at all. And so I can only get to that point because I'm saying, yo, I'm a master in this space. And when you get that belief, not just confidence, when you get that belief, you will begin to not take shorts, especially when people reach out to you. Mm-hmm. It's different if you're reaching out to them. But when people reach out to you, you should stand flat-footed. And that comes from your mastery, comes from you putting the time, the work, and the attention into your brand. Because mastery is just saying, I'm presenting who I am and what I do to my niche market, and I'm putting so much out there, I have become a master. Think about it. Who told you that Dave Ramsey or Suze Orman were masters in the financial field? Who said that? Somebody tell me who said it. Do they got PhDs? I don't even know if they ever been to school. I know I don't see PhD next to none of their name. They told us they were financial experts. They wrote books. They flooded the marketplace with all this information, and the market then said, oh, they must be the gurus, because every time I turn on TV, every time I walk in Barnes & Noble, I'm seeing their books on the front shelf. You don't know what they do work for them. There are people that think contrary to what they say, and they're still successful. Mm-hmm. But they have become the gurus. If Dave Ramsey said it, don't do it, we don't do it. If Suze Orman say make it happen, we go make that happen. What are you going to tell the marketplace on a consistent basis? What are you going to show the marketplace on a consistent basis to let them know that you are a guru, a master at student athlete development, a master with youth, a master in the area of nonprofits and things? What are you going to do? A master at being creative. What are you going to do on a consistent basis to make yourself like the Mother Teresa's, like the Kevin Hart's, like all of these, like the Kobe Bryant's, that when they see your face come across their timeline, I ain't talking about this huge thing, they say, oh, yep, that's Fred. Yep, he works with the student athletes. Yep, boom, 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 boom. Let's call him and bring him in. Well, he's charging a ridiculous amount of money. It's okay. He's the best at what he does. Mm-hmm. You got to tell them that you're the best at what you do. Mm-hmm. You do it. Mm-hmm. Who told people T.D. Jakes is supposed to be, that I've heard in circles, the best pastor? He sounds sweet when he speaks, but don't nobody know if what he's saying is true or not. But he says it with such, even he sound good when he say what he say, and he says it with passion. But don't nobody know if that's true, like if it works. He's just getting you motivated and excited. But it's because he is consistently doing it, and it works for him. He has built his brand. Same thing. Look, we have Apple and Android debates. I'm talking about we used to almost fight in the barbershop over Apple and Android debates. For real, we say Apple, I know, let me not say we, I say Apple is a superior product. I don't know that. All I know is what they said. And I hear Android, now what I do know is Android can take better pictures, right? But Apple will have you thinking, no, it's because of the bright. We really have better megapixels. And they'll say all of that. We got more megapixels. We got this. And then Apple gives you all the engineering and everything that goes behind it. So we like, it must be, yeah. So Android look better, but we got a better camera. Only because Apple told us that. I need all of us to begin to tell our niche marketplace that we're the best at what we do, and then show them that. And that's where your personal branding comes in. You got to brand your mastery, brand your greatness. So now I want you to this is a homework assignment. Add it on to what you're going to see at the end of this presentation. I want you to get a picture of yourself and put it wherever, on the front of your phone, on the mirror. And I just want you to start thinking about every day what I want my niche market to say about me when they see my picture. Every day. What are you going to post every day? What in front of your ideal client every day? What are you going to serve and solve for them from a content perspective every single, watch this, every single day, sometimes 2, 3, 4, 5 times a day? Gary Vee has become the social media genius. He told me, how do you measure that? How can you measure he is a social media genius? Ain't nobody seen his tax records to know that he make $100 million, $400 million. All we see him doing is buying a company. WeWork is about to do a IPO. They're probably going to bring in about $6 billion. They are right now a 2.67, I think, $billion company. $1 billion company. But last quarter, they took a loss, $267 million loss. So on the outside, they look like, oh my God, we got all this money. We're $1 billion company. But you're taking a loss every quarter. But what they're showing us, the brand that they're showing us is phenomenal. All right, so let's begin to do that. Let's move forward. I don't want to beat that dead horse. So now the question is, how do we do that? All right, so here's a few ways. The first thing is we need to begin to understand what that personal brand is, right? A personal brand is the practice of people marketing themselves, careers, and brands. Personal branding is essentially the ongoing process of establishing an image. Prescribed is a key word. Prescribed image or impression in the mind of others about an individual, right? Group or organization. Let me say that again. Personal branding is essentially the ongoing process of establishing ongoing process of establishing a prescribed image or impression in the mind of others about an individual, group, or organization. That's how we start. We create an ongoing process of a prescribed image or impression. So how do we start to create that image? Well, here's the statement. The first thing you do is you come up with your brand statement, right? It's going to be 1 to 2 sentences, basically answering what you do. It basically is going to be your brand clarity statement. So I think I got it here. Nope. It'll be your brand clarity statement. I thought I had a copy of one here. I help X do Y for Z. Right? Hold on one second. I'm gonna post it. I thought I had it in here. Hold on one second. Let me grab it. I'm gonna put it in the chat. Y'all copy it and paste it. Ross, I got you. All right, I'm dropping it in the chat. Y'all copy paste it. Basically, brand clarity statement. Clarify your brand, focus, and message. I help X accomplish Y so they can do Z. You want to define your X, who is your ideal speaking audience, because your brand is gonna go out to your audience for your client to see. Right? Define your why. What results do you deliver to that audience? Right? Define your Z. What benefits do your audience experience after working with you? And so you want to write your brand clarity statement. We're getting clear, becoming a master, niching all the way down, being very clear and specific. Now, it's not going to be what you do forever, but you have to make a decision. This is where I'm going to start. So I know, Fred, you were saying young men or males, men, that still falls in line with athletes. That's great. All right. So y'all go ahead and get that. We're going to move forward. Anybody got any questions before we go forward? Let me ask that. Any questions? All right. Somebody trying to get a question in? No. All right. So what does that look like, Coach? All right. So we got this personal brand pyramid, right? I love this. That asks you some questions. At the bottom of the pyramid, we start with the base, which is the physical, which is the very first thing that people see, your image. What is your style? So for those of y'all that have been watching me, I think it was Bryant that said he'd been watching me for a while, right? If you notice, last year, 2018, early in the year, all of 2017, 16, 15, 14, hell, 2007, 8, from the time I was cutting hair, I used to wear hats all the time, T-shirts, just kind of really laid back when I was cutting hair. And that was my brand back then. But as I'm building my personal brand going into the next season, I'm changing some things up. I'm more, as you can see, like I was shooting today. I'm more, I know my audience and my client, right? And so remove the hat. So my image, I'm creating a new image. I'm creating a new image. So when I start to answer these questions at the base, when it says image, my style is polo, boom, boom, boom. What is your style? What is your image? What is your style? You need to start filling it as it relates to you, your personal brand. So for example, we use E, right? E started 29 years ago. His style was a fitted cap. He used to wear polos, but it was casual, right? He was speaking to youth, speaking in colleges, and doing a lot of preaching. And he stayed with that. That's who he is. That's what he does. My whole life I have been conservative. I'm gonna be honest, like the t-shirt you got on, Bryant, I never liked wearing shirts with all of the big writing on it. It's just me. I never liked drawing attention to myself. So even back in the days when they used to have the Jabro shirts and everything, somebody had got me a shirt which said Jabro on it and some jeans. It was like something, but they were like very loud. And I can't wear it. Like they posted funny, an orange shirt that I had. I was in an orange shirt back in 2014. And that was the only one time I ever wore that shirt. And I had to wear it because it was the only dress shirt I had at the time. And it was a gift, but it was orange. And I don't like to wear stuff like that because it draws too much attention to me. I'm very conservative for the most part. And so I know my image. I'm not going to go and buy a purple shirt. I'm not going to go and buy like a bright color shirt, not because I don't like bright colors, but because I just don't like to draw attention. But you need to know what your image is, what your style is, right? Your skills. You excel, or I excel at what? What do you excel at? Right? Next up on the pyramid, behavior. Your personality is, answer that question. Right? Reputation. I'm known for what? When people hear your name, when people talk about you, what are you known for? Right? Answer that question. Beliefs. I am motivated by, answer that question. right? And then at the top of the pyramid, the most important, your values, your core principles they're just certain things that you just can't, you're just not going to do. What are they? Like, what are the principles that you live by? Right? And you need to begin this, you need to do this so that you can begin to understand, written, you can begin to understand, like, who am I? Like, so when we ask the question in the Q6, who are you? That directly relates to this personal brand pyramid. Image, skill, like, what's your style? What do you excel at? What's your personality? What are you known for? What are you motivated by? And what principles do you live by? What are your core values? Any questions about that? Good. So this is going to be homework assignment number 2. You need to answer these questions on this brand pyramid. Answer these questions on this brand pyramid. This is homework assignment number 2. And go deep, like go deep. Even if you like image, my style is, I think one time we had somebody post some pictures, put some pictures of themselves on almost like a vision board to kind of visualize their brand statement, their personal brand pyramid. The second homework assignment is do your brand clarity statement. Those are the 2 so far. All right, let's keep it moving. Now, once you start getting that brand built up and you kind of know who you are, what you do, and who you help, and the effect that you have on people, you really want to start building out your business model, right? So early on, when I got started, and even now, really, this is kind of still my original business model. So this will provide clarity for you, right? So if you just look at this at the top, Kendall Ficklin, and this is just bare bones, basic. Speaker. I don't know why I got a question mark there. Get that off of there. All right, take it off later. All right, speaker. That's how I started. I was speaking. I wasn't generating all of my income from speaking, but speaking was and is responsible for 100% of my income, right? Speaking leads to everything else. And what it has done is it led to Grindation, the beginning of Grindation when I started it. That led to more personal coaching, one-on-one coaching and group coaching, the speaking and books, right? Early on, I had a book, I was speaking, I had Grindation, and I was doing, I'm sorry, something just came through, a deposit. And I was doing one-on-one coaching, right? So this was the early model, simple, very simple. And then as I would continue to build my personal brand, and for me, it was, they used to call me the president of Grind Nation. I don't know why you say grind. Like, I'm a grinder because the way I built my business, and Nikki said this one time on one of our calls, she said, I have a lifestyle brand, and I never knew this. It didn't, for me, it didn't make sense. When she said it made sense. I didn't catch it first. I have a lifestyle brand, and that lifestyle at that time was grind, because I was always moving. I was always on the road. I was always in the airport. I was always going to get it. I was always grinding. So when you thought about me, you would think grind. You saw a picture of me, my man grinding. And that's how open, great grind day. Grind, go get it, work, 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 work. That was the lifestyle image or the brand image that I created. And I built it under this platform, speaking and coaching, and I was pushing books back then. It went from that to this, Grindation. As I was building it out, then we brought in G Speaks, then we brought in G Men, then we brought in G Women, then G Business, G Family. And those were and are the G's right now. Then now, watch this. There was some G's that came through here, health, G this, G that. It didn't quite make the cut. Just wasn't. But once you do this, you do that. Things work, things don't work, and this is what you end up with. So what I saw was personal brand, the president of Grind Nation, great grind day, Grindation, and so from that personal brand, grind, speaking, I created G Men. I kicked off G Women, kicked off G Business. G Speaks was and is speaker training and development, and G Family is bringing the family together. So from one thing, I created and produced more and many things just from Grindation. Then we went from that to this business model. This is I believe this is the current model as it stands right now with a couple of additions, right? Still started at the top with personal branding, and that's the Kendall Ficklin, right? It's not Kendall Ficklin LLC. This is the brand Kendall Ficklin. What does Kendall Ficklin do? Personal development, professional development, business development. Very simple. Within those are different things, right? If you go down, look down, that G still stands for Grindation, but that grew into still personal coaching one-on-one, but now we created group coaching programs from that. Still do professional speaking, but that professional speaking now has been built out into facilitation and more trainings, right? You go over, still an author, still doing books that I hate to do, but we're still doing books. And now we're going over into more products, Welcome to the Jungle products, Grindation products, things that are about personal development, professional development, and business development. And so over here we look, these are some of the group coaching programs. We got B.O.S.C., we got the BMC, we got Welcome to the Jungle, and I almost forgot about Winning in Life and Business. We did that one too. And now, just recently added the G Mastermind, which is a mastermind program that would be probably underneath group coaching programs right up under here or under this G, the mastermind. Remember, from one thing, from this personal brand, technically I have become a master in my niche. Now, let me say this to everybody. You don't have to have thousands of people. Not necessary. You can make and be very successful with hundreds of people. It's just about how many people in your niche, in your area, see your personal brand and can connect to you. Because everybody that's on this call, you didn't come to B.O.S.C. just because of B.O.S.C. You came because it was me, and there was something about me that you connected with. There was something about what I said, probably, matter of fact, let's just ask. Fred, you came basically because you saw videos of me? Right? Cam?
Videos and the animals.
Bryant?
Consistency in videos, man.
Jeff? Jeff got that Canada connection. Jeff? Oh, yeah.
Yes, sir. Sorry, it's glitching. Through the videos and just the way you speak, the power in the way you speak.
Now watch this. I can remember Jeff hitting like on a lot of the videos over a period of time. Amber, I'm not
Come on now.
I know, I can remember, like I look, don't get this twisted. I look to see who's commenting, who's clicking. I'm looking. And names, if you do it enough, those names start to catch. I'm watching. And because the way yours is set up, Jeff A.D. Martin, that's easy to remember. Amber, I know you ain't have a choice. You were.
I'm here so I don't get fined.
Yeah. You're here so you don't get fined. Because I'm looking to cut people's checks this month. So remember, and it's all because in my niche, I just flooded the marketplace with videos. And if there's one thing you can say, whether you've seen a whack video or whatever, they still get dropped every single day. Videos get dropped. The content gets dropped. I'm pushing in the marketplace. Amber and I went today and did Welcome to the Jungle videos that we're going to put on the platform and start. But you have to keep flooding your market in your client niche. And when you do that, you build, going back to the presentation, come on back from the beginning. We started here, the page looks empty. Really, if I take the bottom stuff off, all I was doing was speaking. Real. I didn't know who target market was. I just went into schools and was yelling at kids. That was it. From that and the work, I started thinking about where my sweet spot was, what I should be doing. I knew the speaking, but from a coaching perspective, I wasn't thinking about coaching business owners or anything. I didn't think about coaching speakers. Speakers came to me and asked me to start coaching them. I wasn't trying to coach speakers. They came to me because they saw me doing what I do at a high level and getting results. And so they came and said, teach me how to do what you do. And that's how, boom. And then we went to, boom, the G. And so now we added the G agency. We're going to be helping speakers get gigs, consultants get gigs, coaches get clients, right? We add into that, right? But it all started from the personal brand. It all started from me posting the videos, saturating the marketplace, allowing you to see, watch this, allowing you to see my image, what I excel at, my personality, what I'm known for, what motivates me, being personal in the videos, and looking at my core values. You've heard me say on some videos, I don't smoke, I don't drink, I don't do dope, chase women or men. Like this is a part of the core value. Like you hear this. You hear me talking about my wife, my family. That's core values. You see the image. You see, and you can't be afraid to let people see you where you are. You want them to see you grow. So I never tried to do, let me not say that. I did try to do more than what I should have, but then I realized I couldn't be consistent at certain points with it. So I just went back and I learned, let your market see you grow. That's one of the best things you can do. So be who you are while you are who you are, and then grow into who you're going to become and allow your market to see you grow. It's a part of your brand. It's a part of your mastery, right? Don't worry about, well, the video got a little, I didn't say this part right. I didn't, Coach, I didn't have my mic on. That's all right. I'm gonna cuss you, right? I'm gonna talk about you, but you still got to post. Cam, you laughing like you're gonna show me some video tomorrow and you ain't got no mic on. Yeah, but I mean, it's okay. Like, you still got to put it out there because it's a part of your development. And here's the thing. You got to be very careful, because when you look at other people's brands, you'll start to think your brand should look like their brand. But what you do is you look at other people's brand to just get ideas on how they're doing what they do. So even if you look at people that do what you do and see how they do it and how you can take or find the gaps and how you can take some of that and add it to what you do, remix it, and when you regurgitate it, it's now yours. All right, so we did that, boom, boom. We grew into this, and this is pretty much the model now. We added real estate. It's all right, so watch. Because of growth, so you see where it says Boss and BMC, we're about to change that. It's about to be a difference in that. W2J has morphed into something different because the brand is growing. All right, the products are changing because the brand is growing. Winning in Life and Business, it was a great program when we did it, had a nice turnout, but it just didn't quite fit the brand at that time, right? But now I'm gonna bring it back because now I have an idea of what it's supposed to look like, and it lines up with the mastermind that you can't see over here that'll be here. But it's all because I stay consistent with building the brand. Now watch this. When I started Boss, first class had 10 people in it. And from that first class, we grew every quarter. I think we maxed out probably at 40 or 50 people one class, dropped down to 30. I think this class we only got about 15 people. But watch this. At no point did I ever stop. Whether I had 10 people, 40 or 50 people, 15. Do you get frustrated? Do you cuss people out? Yeah. In my head, yeah. But you don't stop. You still keep building the brand. Remember what that statement said. Consistently doing it over a prolonged period of time. You got to keep doing it. And that's why the first class was changing your mindset from that occupational mindset to the entrepreneurial mindset. You have to keep going because there are so many other brands in the marketplace that if you don't stay or keep your brand in front of your ideal client, and I'm out there with my brand in front of your client, other competitors are out there with their brand in front of your, because Fred, I'm coming for your head, right? Cam, I'm coming for your head, right? Brian, you can have them kids. I'm good on that. But I'm saying, if I'm in the marketplace, you in the marketplace, and we got people that we don't even know that's in the marketplace that got a whole different look, that now we in competition with, if we remove ourselves from our client's view for any lengthy period of time, we put ourselves in a bad position from a business perspective. And it's that much more difficult to get back in their view. All right, any questions? Oh, this is great. Homework, I added, so first homework is clarity statement, and I put it in the chat, y'all copy and paste it. I need to add that to this. Let me add that real quick. All right. Do your brand clarity statement. Give me a second. I want to add that to this real quick.
Hey, Coach, while you're writing, can I say something?
Oh, please, please, go ahead.
So what you just talked about there in terms of just being consistent in front of your audience, it reminds me years ago when I was a young officer, I was in charge of the Retail Business Act. Basically what that was any grocery stores that were open on a holiday, they were subjected to be fined. And so by thousands of dollars. And so whenever I would go out to a grocery store while working and they were found to be open, and you ask them, like, why are they open on Easter holiday or whatever, they would always say, well, we have to stay open because if store number 2, our competitor, is open and they come knocking on our door and we're not open and they go over to competitor 2, then we've just lost our customers. And so based on that, they always ensured, even though there was a fine, they always ensured that they opened on holidays just to make sure that their customers didn't go over to the competitor. So it kind of ties into me in terms of what you said, where you have to stay consistent. You have to ensure that what you're putting out there is consistent to your brand and to the people who you're looking to relate to.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. So homework, brand clarity statement. Right, I want you to write your personal brand statement, right? This will be uploaded to the platform so you'll have access to it, the actual presentation. I want you to create your business model, right? Create your business model. You can use mine as a sample, and you're probably going to use my first model where it was just speaking, grindation, boom, boom, boom. And you might just have your name as a personal brand. It might just be speaking, right now. But I want to let's get clear on what it is that you're doing. It might be, you might have a speaking and you might be doing coaching right now. It might be training. It might be whatever that looks like. And I ain't even put, yes it did. But I want you to just create in the darker color, I want you to create what you're doing from a business model. And then I want you to, like, in a shaded grayish color, future. What is it? Because I created all of that stuff you saw for grindation. And I'm gonna be real with you. Like, I never sat down and had the vision to wrote it down and said, we're gonna do this, this, this. The way you see it now, I created that PowerPoint slide after it was created. But in my head, I would say, yup, now it's time to go back and do G-Men. Yup, I need to do G-Speech. Yup. Just this year, I brought back G-Business. because I had stopped it for a minute because the market wasn't looking, the market didn't want it. But now, because of the content I've been dropping, and anybody remember when I was doing the Saturday coffee, the conversation with Coach K, coffee and conversation? I did the coffee and conversation and did the Q&A because content for the new book, first reason. Second reason is to expand my reach, the brand. And I wanted to see what my market wanted from me. And as I looked at all of the different questions from that month or so of coffee and conversation, 90% of the questions I was asked, or 85%, was about business. So that told me, let me bring back G Business, because the market is looking for that business piece. All because I'm saying I want to be a master. I want to keep myself in front of the market. I have to continue to drop content online and make my presence felt offline. And that's why I asked the question in the Q6, your ideal client, where are they online and where are they offline? Right? Questions. Let's open it up for questions.
So how do you know when to scratch your whole entire other personal, because I have a personal brand in a business, like a fitness business. Like I started it, I run it, it's successful, but I'm trying to branch more into personal development. How do I know when I'm supposed to scratch the fitness thing and then mesh it all together? Like I struggle with clarity. Like I'm really struggling with this clarity thing. How to bring it together.
You were on the call when I did the Q6?
I was, yeah.
You know what
I
Q6
struggle with that still, but
yeah. So here's the thing. You are doing personal development. Fitness is personal development. So it's not either or, it's and for you. What you need to figure out right now is incorporate your fitness program along with your personal development for speaking. So let me give you some suggestions. I'm literally working with 2 trainers right now. One guy just sold his training company for millions of dollars. First time I seen that one, like a Boudreaux's type thing. But and so now we're building this brand around speaking. But because his expertise is in fitness, we're bringing in the fitness aspect of his speaking, and he's adding in personal development. So he's doing both, but instead of fitness in that aspect, he's talking about health and wellness. And so his conversation is about health and wellness, dripping fitness in there, because that's where all his experience is. So what you don't want to do, Brian, is say, all right, I'm doing something different than the fitness, I'm doing personal development, when all of your, I'm going to say all, majority of your experience over the years is in fitness. So what you start to do is you do classes, right? Group classes, right?
Yeah, I do. A lot more one-on-one training, but I do some group training as well.
So whether it's one-on-one or whether it's group, what you do is, especially with the groups, you give them 5 or 10 minutes of a personal development talk before you start class, and you get the footage of that. And you start to show your audience, not so much like all my guys I work with that are trainers, I tell all of them, I do not want to see you working out. Stop that. Everybody's doing that. Nobody wants to see you train. Like you're not separating yourself in the marketplace. But what I would love to see you do is do a video explaining how this particular exercise can help somebody, mind, body, and soul. Like, tell me why. So I need you to figure out or think about how to incorporate personal development as you see it into the fitness, like an and type of thing. And you build that up because you have to leverage your experience. You don't just want to stop doing one thing and doing, that's the most difficult and challenging thing to do. So watch this. Early on, CJ would tell me, yo, you need to be in the barbershop speaking, because I was cutting hair. And I had been in the shops and that was my experience, but I hated cutting. I never connected cutting with my speaking, ever, except guys that were in the shop. I ain't have no me cutting hair on my personal YouTube, on my personal IG ever. And that was the most challenging and difficult thing ever. Just now, I'm literally, just the other day, I thought about going out and doing a barbershop tour because I know the value that we can bring and I know the mindset of the barbers. But back then I was like, man, I should have did it back then. And then morphed out from there. And my following would probably be huge because of the barbers. I probably would be broke, Yep, I probably would be broke. And Mel B is dropping something in the chat for you. I probably would be broker, but maybe not. But I'm saying to you, incorporate what you're doing with what you want to do. And you gradually grow and develop into who you're going to become. Your power is in your experience. Your confidence is in your experience, and that's training. So you need to take that and grow your speaking from there. My guy, Nissan, trainer, I don't know if you know him, worked with me for about 6 months. Initially, he was like, I want to speak, but I want to separate it from the fitness. I said, no, let's bring it into the fitness. Bring it together. That's what you do. He went, did that, started speaking about health and wellness and fitness. A company heard him, saw one of his videos, brought him in, got a $15,000 contract. Not that fast, but almost that fast. And wanted him to come in and speak about personal development, but then also do some training around it. So because it's personal development with the fitness. Now, it's not probably what you want to do. That's my suggestion.
No doubt. No, I understand what you're saying. I think I just need you to say it. So
yeah, you got, bro, like starting off now, your leverage is your experience. Like where's your, like in the Q6, the second question is, what do you do? And then right up under there, 2A says, what life experience, what career experience, what business experience do you have that qualifies you? So who's your idea? What do you do? Break down that for me real quick, Brian. What do you do?
Well, currently my business model is I help people get in the best shape of their lives physically and mentally. So through physical fitness.
In that new model that you want to do, what do you do?
Helping the youth overcome adversity and training leaders, like young leaders.
Okay. What life, business, career, educational experience do you have to qualify you to do that?
Former military, a lot of leadership courses in the military, and I've overcome adversity myself, from homelessness to disease to addiction.
Yeah. So now, what you do now, tell me that statement again.
For the youth, helping the youth overcome adversity.
No, the first one you told me. The first one.
Helping people get in the best shape of their lives physically and mentally through physical fitness.
I don't see too much of a difference except the word physical fitness and leadership. Like they can overlap. That's just personal. Now, how many years experience do you have in the physical fitness or the training?
As a personal trainer, 7 years, but overall fitness, I've been doing it since I've been a teenager.
How many years is that?
What's that?
How many years is that total? Give me a number.
13, 14 years.
All right. So what you're saying is we're going to round the 14 off to 15 because it's close. No, I'm just saying it's close. There's a year in there that you forgot about. So what we're saying is you can help youth develop, train youth, develop leadership in the areas of health, in the areas of boom and health and wellness. So like I did the core 4, mindset, health set, balance, and wealth set. And so those are the 4 most important areas in people's lives. And so what you're saying is you've got 15 years experience combined because of your military, because of your training experience, because of your leadership experience. You have experience in all of those areas, 15 years. Because you're doing fitness right now, it is easier for you to push I would say adults, men, young males, I would say men and young males because of the experience that you have. Does that make sense? Push it with the fitness or health and wellness. I don't like the word fitness because people come and go from fitness. Health and wellness is the new trend. Gluten-free, and health can include mindset. So when you're doing your thing, you can say from a health perspective, but just not physical health, mental health, leadership, peak performance. These are key words. Go and study, and I know you probably have already, Boudros.
Mm-hmm. I watch the podcasts and videos, everything.
Boudros is literally doing what I'm saying. Like he's a speaker on personal development and business development, but he keeps it in the fitness or the training realm because that's his business. Thoughts?
No, 100%. You're saying it. I just needed to hear it. So
Yep. Boo Joseph would be a great model for you, as well as I can't think of anybody else off the top of my head that you would know. He's got the model for you. Anybody else? Any questions before we shut it down? Go ahead, Mel.
Can you hear me?
Yep, go ahead.
Okay. So Brian, so one of the gap for you too is making sure that you say something like, within my 15 years of experience, I signed up to fitness coaching, and I realized that it was more about a self-leadership perspective, and that personal development needed to be intact before they were even ready to work out. And so take it and spin it from there.
Straight from the Clarity Queen herself.
I love it. That's the clarity I need right there. I love it.
I promise you that's the Clarity Queen.
I'm gonna own it.
That's your new name, LB, Clarity Queen. No, hold on. I got to put Coach Clarity Queen, the Clarity Queen coach. That's too many clips. Anybody else? So at the boot camp, I know the last boot camp we did, Mel does a session. We probably need to call it the Clarity Session, Mel B, where she actually. The hell is that? That's that damn Sprint, Mel B. We can't hear you, but we hear this tone like the Martians are coming to get you. Yeah, so we do she does like a session, brings a couple people up, like a hot seat type thing. That's actually a great idea. And kind of goes through your brand, what experience you have, and she takes it and puts it, gives you the clarity, gives you this fine language, like she just did for you, Brian. I could dang what I do, but she gave it to you, and that I heard it was like, boom, that's it right there. So when we get to the meetup, she'll be able to give you what you need, especially when we get there, give you that clarity. All right. Questions. All right, we got a homework assignment. Guys, remember what I said at the beginning of the call? Consistency. Don't just come on here, get some good gems, and you need to, nothing matters but results. Amber and I was talking about this today. Care about none of these other people. They ain't getting no results. Nothing matters but results. Results. And results look different for everybody. Results looks different for everybody. But get results. For all hearts, I just want somebody to take a look at the time. Mel B, take a look at the time. All right. Y'all have yeah, not yet, Mel B. You still on that sound thing. Guys, make sure you're on the call tomorrow, the BMC call, 6 p.m. You definitely need to hear this. All right. I ain't got nothing else. I'm ready to hang up, but I don't want to see that, Mel B. Much better time. I'm ready to go though. I gotta go. I gotta get up early and catch a flight. Y'all have a great grind day. We'll talk soon.